Okay, so today is Wednesday, the 14th of October 2020, and the month is running. It should tell you that we're just a few months away. In fact, no, just a month? November, November, what? December, right? Yes. So it's just like a few, not even a month, though. Just like a few days to the December polls. And it's going to be very exciting this year. People are waiting. People are sitting on tenterhooks. People are anxious. People are curious. They want to know how the elections will go. But hopefully it goes well. Hopefully it goes well, because with what I'm seeing and hearing, this year's election will be do or die affair, or die be die. Because the NDC is saying they're not going to accept any flawed elections. The MPP is also saying that if we win and you describe our victory as flawed, then we too accept. Hey, the matter chop what? So today it appears IDEG is meeting with the Electoral Commission and the NDC to see if they can chart a certain path of progress. So that all parties who are directly involved in the electoral process will be at peace, knowing fully well that the parties who are supposed to conduct the election in a free and fair manner are doing so in a manner that will allow for all the parties to be satisfied with the process. And our very own, our internal governance and political expert, Dr. Abubakar Marzouk Mohammed, is going to be part of that particular meeting today. And I'm excited about it because we know that he has a wherewithal, and he is very passionate about our dear nation Ghana, and he has consistently, without contradiction, laid the foundation upon which we can build on the democracy that we have chalked over the years. And like we always say on the show, the democracy that we're enjoying, the peace that we're enjoying, it was not just a fluke. It was a deliberate attempt, to ensure that the democratic pillars and the foundations are properly laid in order for us to survive in these times. And so we want to implore all of you to be very, very active, play very active roles in this particular process leading to the event, which is the December 7th polls. Many questions are being asked. So social media is awash with a lot of confusions. People are not certain as to the commitment or otherwise of the Electoral Commission to ensuring that we get a very peaceful election. But hopefully, they will begin to listen to that small voice in their brain that will advise them positively to make the process very free and fair. On the basis of that, let me extend my warmth good morning to my panelists who are here seated. Alhaji Dr. Marzouk is here. Good morning to you, sir. And you are doing very, 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 very well for Mother Ghana. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
I watched you all the way from Oti region, where you were making some great submissions. Indeed, somebody requested for your number from Dubai, and I gave your number to that person. Behind closed. You didn't know about that. But the person said, I want to buy him something when I'm coming from Dubai.
Oh,
yes, because it appears that your submission really went down well with that particular gentleman. But you're doing a very good job for Mother Ghana. So good morning to you.
Thank you.
Dr. Rashid Pelpo is also here seated. Dr. Rashid Pelpo, forever young, he's here seated. And he is the current MP for Wa Central. Undoubtedly, he's getting so much support in that constituency. Even though, the opponents are throwing money around and trying to convince people and buying the consciences of people with money, the people are still resolute and they are standing firm because they believe in the ideals, and they believe that the best person to articulate their concerns, the best person who appreciates the aspirations and who has worked tremendously in ensuring that the people get better and quality education, the people's lives are better and well improved, the people are provided with very basic social amenities, is here seated, and he's definitely going to win that election regardless of whichever amount of money is being thrown to the people. Dr. Rashid Pelpo, we are here for you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
And I trust you are doing very well. You look very young, even though the pressure is there, but you're still very young about it. What is the secret? There's this advertisement. What's the secret? Say Revlon. Yeah, I trust you're doing well.
Yeah, we're doing
well. And the constituents?
Oh, very, very well.
There's this gentleman who's working for you who I think deserves some commendation. Betis is doing absolutely.
His real name is Abubakar Nuruddin.
Mashallah.
Yeah, and
my father.
And alias Betis. That's your father's
name.
So
Betis is not part of his name.
Betis is he used to like Batistuta, the footballer.
The footballer.
And people, just call him Betis.
Well.
And he's just a great guy.
Yeah.
He's reading law. I'm just praying that he finishes quickly. Comes out and then I can hand over the baton to him.
Absolutely. So Betis, you have a huge responsibility on your head. You need to deliver, not just deliver. You need to make sure that you overwhelmingly deliver. So that is what we are looking for. But good morning to you again. We are expecting the national organizer of the CPP in a person of Yirimambo Moses Ambeng to join us pretty shortly. He's on his way here. He'll be here very soon for us to have a very wonderful, expansive conversation here on the morning show. Having said that, I think it's in order to extend a very wonderful greetings to all the viewers across the length and breadth of this country, particularly those of you who are watching us from the northern part of Ghana. And I cannot begin to thank you enough. Look, every time when I get to travel, the opportunity to travel up north, the way you welcome me, the way you welcome my colleagues, is very exciting, because we just sit here and we only present a show. But if what we do really makes that great impact in your lives, then we must be very, very excited about it. And I cannot thank you enough for always spending your mornings. And I always say this every morning when I get the opportunity to say thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching the morning show. Also, those of you who are watching us from the Volta and OT regions, we are excited that you always watch us every morning. The Ashanti region, the Eastern region, the Greater Accra region, the Western region, the Central region, the Bono region, the Savannah region, and Northeast region, where my very own Alhaji Baba Seidu Isifu is contesting in the Nalerego Gambaga constituency, who is definitely going to win. It's the same as the Honorable Rashid Pepo situation. They are just throwing money around. But you see, when the people, the law school thing, it's happened. Yes. When the people want a certain level of change,
yes, or
a certain level of continuation, you cannot stop them
at all.
It's like fire, blazing through a dry forest, and sure. You cannot stop that. So good morning to everybody all on Sunday watching me this morning. My fathers, my mothers, my uncles, my aunties, my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, my nephews. Good morning to all of you. The topics that are before me obviously spans from an African perspective to the domestic perspective. And on the continent, we're touching base with what is currently transpiring in Nigeria. NSAS protesters defy Nigerian governor. That has been reported by the Daily Graphic newspaper. Bureau of Public Safety rejects police protection for MPs. The Insight reported that particular story. MPP petitions Speaker to remove Famina MP. That is pursuant to Article 97(1)(g) of the Constitution, which states, and I'm not quoting it verbatim, but which states that any member of parliament who decides to run as an independent candidate or abdicates his seat for the purposes of contesting as an independent candidate, not in the name of that political party that sent him to parliament, must be pushed out of parliament. So the constitution is very clear on that. We will touch on that. And also I think the MPP's constitution also has a provision that speaks to people who are contesting as independent candidates, that the party immediately recognizes you as one who is not for the party, who doesn't belong to the party any longer. So we will delve into all those issues here as well. Inadequate funds hindering perennial flooding fight. Atachia. And Atachia has been in the news for bad reasons, because of the floods, and particularly because he was very eloquently loud in his submissions when previously he was intimating that we had allocated some funds, in order that we could fight the perennial floods that we're experiencing in Accra. some $200 million, some $33 million, and all of that. We will deal with all of these matters here and more. The WhatsApp number is active, 0260846533, and I kindly share with us what your thoughts are. We're also streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Pan-African Television, also on YouTube, youtube.com/Pan-African Television. So please share with us what your thoughts are. I'll be more than willing to read your messages out for you. We're kickstarting the conversation from the from Nigeria, and it has to do with NSAS. And I'm starting with Dr. Marzuk on this subject matter. Finally, I think some relief has been brought to the people. The agitation against the things that militate against the people have been frontally, fought, and some level of decision has been reached, and the people are, getting some response from government, some positive response from government. Now, what is rather very disturbing is that after people throng the streets of Nigeria, in many of the states, to demonstrate their displeasure, to agitate against the forces that militate against them, the decision to disband the SARS, which is the Special Forces Against Armed Robbery and stuff like that, right, was very clear that you should disband these people and you should haul some of them before a competent court of jurisdiction, at least those persons who had offended the law, so that justice will be better or best served. They say justice must not only be done, it must be undoubtedly and manifestly be seen to be done.
Sure.
And justice is not served if one person leaves any courtroom thinking anybody was biased. So the process of demanding for justice is that which propelled the people to throng the streets of Nigeria to demonstrate their displeasure about what was happening in respect of how SARS handled their operations. Now, yesterday I was reading a few tabloids, and it came to the fore that now they have created another special unit, which is called the SWAT. I think it's Special Weapons and Tactics or something, whatever they call it, SWAT, right? Yeah. And people are saying, okay, so, madam, give me Gary. Okay, I'm not buying beans, but then you go and buy the beans from somebody and you go and mix it. Is it not the same Gary and beans? Sure. So people are saying that, well, it appears that government is deliberately reassigning these hoodlums who have found their way into the force into another created special unit. And they are saying that the operations of that special unit will not be directly different from the operations of SARS. In fact, in the estimation of the many Nigerians who throng the street, there's a certain symbiotic relationship between the SARS and this particular one. So it begs the question as to whether or not we are really indeed committed to addressing the very rudimental issues confronting the people of Africa. And we are using Nigeria as a case study because of what has transpired and because of even the international recognition that it has gained, international condemnation rather, that it has gained. One would have thought that this would have been the beginning of the end of allowing these people to continue to perpetrate their heinous activities against the people in Nigeria. Dr. Marzuk.
Good morning to the cherished viewers of ours. Special good morning to the people of Nantong. Special good morning to His Majesty Yana Abubakari, the King of Dagbang State, His Majesty Mianglana, His Majesty Savululana. These are three powerful chiefs in the state of Dagbang. Thank you, and special good morning to my elder brother, Alhaji Dr. Honorable Rashid Pelpu. He has 3 titles here. I don't know the rest. He's also a royal, His Eminence, His Royal Majesty. Right. What you have read exposes multiple forms of evils associated with governance in Africa. One, abuse of power by the very people who are paid to ensure peace and security. 2, state endorsement of the abuse of power. 3, the mentality by the men and women in uniform that they have the right to life and death, or the right to decide life and death. 4, bad military and police operations. And 5, lack of proper training of our security personnel. What is good about what you have read is the will of the people, the supremacy of the will of the people. And once the people are determined, at the end of the day, the supremacy of the will of the people prevails. And that's exactly what we are saying here. It is clear that moving from SARS to SWAT is nothing but criminal metamorphosis. We are just changing the label, and operations will remain the same. In a situation where command decisions are taken by politicians, definitely we will witness such things. Command decisions are necessarily taken by the experts in the security agencies, the laws, the echelons, the top brass. They are expected to take command decisions. Unfortunately, like Ghana, Nigerian military and police cannot be free from partisan political manipulations.
Absolutely.
And that is exactly what is happening now. It is clear that SARS theoretically had a very good intention. Anti-robbery. No nation is ready for robbery. So every nation should celebrate any move intended to undertake anti-robbery activities. So if it is anti-robbery, it should not be a weapon of aggression against the very people who are supposed to be protected from robbery. So the operations of SARS have been clear that that Nigerians have decided to move from robbery by the gangs to robbery by the men and women in uniform. And that is very unfortunate, very serious. It tells us the level of impunity of security agencies and their paymasters in power. It tells us how men and women in uniform can decide to do whatever they want to do simply because they are holding state authority. And it is unfortunate that such operations are witnessed in a democratic federal republic of Nigeria. Nigeria is not a jungle. And I do know, yes, that in every democratic state, you need the military and the police.
Absolutely.
However, their constitutional and operational duties and responsibilities must be clearly defined. Their operations should be in the interest of the nation. But in a situation where a security regime decides to serve the powers that be and not the ordinary people of a country, definitely we will witness such abnormalities. One thing is clear. I am appealing to the Nigerian people to continue to mount pressure, but within the confines of the law. Let them also not do anything that will amount to the abuse of the will of the people. Because the will of the people has always been supreme. Within the confines of law, it is supreme. If the law decides to reduce its own effect outside the confines of the law, the will of the people still is supreme. And therefore, I am urging the protesters to ensure that whatever they do is within the confines of rationality and sanity. Let them be guided by law. Let them understand that they are not fighting for themselves. They are fighting for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let the Nigerian government also understand the situation very well and agree to abide by constitutional norms. Let the Nigerian governor, the very governor who is opposed to the protest, understand the role of protest in democratic governance. And if all of us understand that we have a common issue confronting the nation, definitely we will find a solution to it. It is about time the ECOWAS woke up and started to examine the situation very well. I know that people will argue that it is purely an internal matter of Nigeria. But where it assumes a level of international condemnation, definitely it becomes a regional issue. Where it has the tendency to spread to neighboring countries, definitely it becomes a regional issue. Where it has the potential to affect other nations' security, definitely it becomes a regional issue that must be considered by ECOWAS and thereafter by AU. This is all that I can say.
Oh, thank you very, very kindly, Dr. Marzouk. And let me go for this quick commercial break. Stay with us, we shall return shortly.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Breakfast good day,
Every day.
every day.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying tuned into Pan-African Television. Honorable Rashid Pepe, let's hear from you on the subject matter.
Well, thank you very much, and good morning to One Central and to all Ghanaians. This is a good morning for everybody. You know, SARS was a good intention by the Nigerian government to tackle robbery. So if you look at the meaning of it, it is a special anti-robbery squad. Yeah, because robbery and impunity were one in Nigeria. They allowed it to go on and on and on, even just like it's beginning to happen in Ghana here, when robbers can come and then stop people by the roadside, search them, kill some of them, and take their property away. There were instances in Nigeria when people, would normally, as they go on, keep something for the robbers. When they get to the road and they were arrested, they were stopped by the robbers, then they hand them over to be able to get their way. So it was becoming so much that they decided that they will set up this anti-robbery squad. And unfortunately, as you can imagine, and as you always imagine, they have decided to use, the people decided to overstep their bounds and are now being a menace to the people, killing them, extorting money from them, and doing the opposite of what they were asked to do. What they wanted in Nigeria, or what they wanted them to do in Nigeria, was to nip robbery in the bud, to make sure that they create peace and congenial atmosphere for people to go about their duties safely. On the contrary, it became a threat to social life and then a menace to society. So that could not be allowed to go on. For any conscious society that is willing to insist on their rights as individuals and as people. So for them, insisting on their rights, on their dignity as Nigerians, they had to fight against it. And I applaud them, just like my brother has, for their determination to go the extra length in campaigning against it, in demonstrating against it, and to force the Nigerian government to take a decision to disband it. Because if it is meant to create peace, and that's the opposite, create violence and torture the people and kill them and maim them and create all kinds of problems for the people, it was for them to now say enough was enough. But I heard that you are saying it's been replaced by SWAT. SWAT has always been in all most countries. It started in the United States.
Yeah. But Nigeria, it was SARS. Now they've introduced SWAT. Yesterday, if what I read online,
if SWAT is what we all know, special weapons
and tactics.
If that is what we know, it's something that will curb riots if it is there. It is something that will tackle those kinds of things, terrorists, and those things. They are specially trained to be able to manage these things when they occur. But how they would now allow SWAT to now chase robbers, maybe because robbers had also terrorized society. If they terrorize society, SWAT will be good for them. But SWAT is a specially trained people. They are not just people who will take the law into their hands, because they are streamlined, they exist in everywhere. There's already there are precedents for them to copy in other countries. We have one in Ghana which was abused quite recently when they sent them to Ayawaso, Waswegon. They donned the SWAT uniform and went to terrorize people in Ayawaso, Waswegon. But otherwise, there are people who normally don't go out quickly. I mean, as often as you would see the police out in the open, and they tackle specific issues, as you know. So, for me, I think that the Nigerian government maybe intended well, but they got it wrong. They got the wrong people into the game, and they destroyed the trust of the people, and the people worked hard to get them out. It was good they did that. But in place of that, should the country be left open the way they are? The Nigerian police is very corrupt, very, very corrupt, and you can go with murder if you can pay your way through, so that you don't appear in court. And so if robbers can go scot-free after they have committed so much crime, what is the alternative? Should they be allowed to go? Should the country continue to go backward into deep into the abyss of destruction and suffering because of a few people who think that they haven't been brought up well, and so they should extract money from the public? Those are things that we should look at. I think that as Nigeria is having its own share, let's begin to look at Ghana. It was because of robbers the MP was killed. They stopped everybody and started searching. The MP drove there and he was shot and killed very painfully. Shouldn't have happened. You can't look at your fellow human being and just shot him and kill him the way they have done. Somebody who has families, somebody who has a whole constituency looking up to him, the choice of the people, you look at him and just shoot him to death. It's completely unacceptable.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, so I think that the squad has failed the people, and I think it is logical that if they have failed, they should go. And I'm happy that the people are conscious enough to take it upon themselves.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
and there's one quote that I found very encouraging on social media, and it read, "The politicians will no longer divide us on the lines of ethnicity, on the lines of religion, on the lines of politics, and that when we feel that something is wrong, we will unite as the youth of Nigeria and fight against the system." And I found that to be very profound.
But then you see, Nigeria should fight against corruption first. Impunity in corruption in government. That is very important. You cannot fight against a terrorist as a people, because otherwise you have to take the law into your own hands. Look for guns and chase them. Or robbers, look for guns and chase them. There are certain kinds of crimes committed by the people or by certain people in society which can only be fought by people with guns licensed by government.
But the failure of government in addressing a fundamental issue should not be to the negative, if you will, for the average Nigerian, because then it means that the state has failed in addressing a primary concern.
That's what I'm saying.
And as on the basis of that, are usurping the authority and acting anyhow. Just sometimes they just even bring people out of the vehicles and shoot them.
Yeah.
They ask you, how old are you? Why are you holding iPhone 11? Why are you holding iPhone 12? Why do you have gold chain? And all of those things. So it's endemic. That's a fact. But then it's also as a result of the failure of the system. And so how do we tackle that? Because the people thronging the streets and demonstrating, they are demonstrating because they are being killed for absolutely no reason.
The state has failed.
Absolutely. So
but I'm saying that.
Yes, sir.
The quote you gave is saying that the people are willing to take over on government and to fight for whatever they feel
is right. Yes.
Is right.
Yes,
and I'm saying that even so, they have a limit. They can fight against government. You can't fight against faceless people who come in the night and shoot people and run away.
Of course.
You will have to tackle government to be able to stand up to its duty. Because I'm saying that
its fundamental duty is to protect the people of Nigeria.
Yes. And if they are not doing it,
absolutely,
they can insist that they do it.
Yes.
But I'm saying that in doing so, the government should be conscious of the fact that it has a responsibility it cannot shed. The responsibility to protect the same people who are willing to take government on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If they don't, the people themselves cannot do it. For example, the people cannot fight Boko Haram. If they want to fight Boko Haram, they have to go and form paramilitary forces. And paramilitary forces cannot be legal in Nigeria, nor in any country. To have a paramilitary cannot be legal in any country. So I'm saying that they should tackle government to make sure government is not corrupt in its duty. Government stands up to its responsibility to rise above the mediocrity in tackling these robbers and the terrorists, so that they can tackle government on other issues like social services, like provision of infrastructure, like insisting on doing the right thing, creating jobs for the people. Those are public duties that the government has to perform. But when the illegality comes in and government looks away, it will be difficult for the people to tackle it, because essentially it's government that should do it, and they should ensure that government is standing right, upright. That's just what the point I'm making.
Yeah, the point is well established, but I'm saying that the point that you're establishing goes without saying that the fundamental duty to the people of any country should be the basic of things to do.
Yeah.
Security is part of it, provision of basic social amenities. If I can even look at the Maslow's theory. So all those things, must accrue to the people, right?
Can I make a statement?
Okay, you make a statement and I'll establish my point. Yeah.
Yes. What I have observed something, the difference between ideation and operation. I think we all agree that the idea of SARS is fantastic, but the operation is wrong. What we should also be considering is the remote causes. I can tell you that the financial disparity, economic disparity in Nigeria is too high.
Huge.
Very huge. You can have extremely poor people and wonderfully rich people. So that alone could be a factor. So I'm calling for economic imbalances by the state. For example, people feel that they are highly poor, they are underprivileged, they don't have anything, and they see others who, for whatever reasons, can command all the resources in the world. That alone becomes a source of violence. And I think Nigerian government should also consider some of these economic imbalances and work towards the creation of an environment that will ensure the proper distribution of resources for everybody.
All right, thank you very much. 0260846539 is the WhatsApp number, so you can share with us what your thoughts are. I'll be more than willing to read them out here for you. Now, let me come to you, Dr. Rashid Popo, because we are starting the domestic stories here. And because you're a member of parliament, I think it's well within common sense that I start with you. And so over the weekend, I think when was this? Saturday, I think. The MP was murdered on Saturday, right? I think Friday or Saturday. Friday, yeah. A member of parliament for the Infantiman constituency was murdered, and it has brought in its wake some levels of condemnation. One, and the fact also that members of parliament need maximum protection, and people have, their money staking, beating. Are they better than those people? Are they better than the mobile money operator who is always attacked every now and then by hoodlums who wield guns and knives and they take their monies from them? Are the MPs far better than the man who was murdered, the lecturer who was murdered in his home in cold blood? Are the MPs better than the PRO at the Ghana Port and Harbour Authority? Are the MPs better than the many Ghanaians who have suffered at the hands of armed robbers? Why is their case different? Why must we treat them differently? Is it because they sit in Parliament House making laws? It makes them better human beings than Ghanaians? Why do they deserve better protection? As a matter of reality, I know that in their homes they have protection. I know that, and this brings to the fore, Honorable, the issue about resolving public issues from private perspective. Security crisis. The members of parliament will demand for protection. Whenever there is security, whenever the roads are bad, the members of parliament and the ministers will buy V8. They don't feel it. Whenever we don't have water, they will build mechanized boreholes. So when abroad, to take them to school abroad. So the problems are unsolved. Honorable, justify why members of parliament deserve